Can I tell you why I think so many women are failing at weight loss before they've even taken their first bite? It's because we've been following advice that was designed mainly around men's hormones and then blaming ourselves when it didn't work. Because for 16 years, I thought I was the problem. I thought I was addicted to food. I thought I had no discipline. And I thought that if I could just stop eating sugar, stop snacking, and just have more willpower, right? I'd finally lose weight. Instead, I do great for a few days, few weeks, but then the cravings, and you know what I mean, cravings, would hit. And I would eat everything in sight. Then I'd beat myself up all over again for it and be like, oh, why did I do this? Can I ask you something? Have you ever eaten breakfast, but by 10 a.m., you're already looking for something sweet? Or you eat lunch, and then an hour later, you're standing in your pantry wondering why you're craving chips or chocolate. And you promise yourself that today is going to be the day that I'm going to be good. But by dinner, you feel like you've completely failed. This is you. I want you to hear me. You're not fighting your willpower. You're fighting your biology. Let me explain, okay? Think of every cell in your body kind of like a house, all right? And every time you eat carbohydrates, they're broken down into glucose or sugar, okay? And that sugar, it needs to get inside your cells to be used for energy. Now, insulin is the key, and it unlocks the front door. But after years of high, like sugar, low-calorie diets, processed foods, things that we think are healthy because Weight Watchers tells us so, chronic stress, poor sleep, inflammation, constant snacking, these doors stop responding. And your pancreas doesn't know at all. So it just simply keeps making more insulin. Imagine someone standing outside, pounding on the front door, yelling like, open up. That is insulin. But here's the important part. Insulin is your fat storage hormone. When insulin is high, your body is getting the message, store energy, not burn fat. So if your insulin is elevated all day because you're grazing, you're grabbing coffees, you're snacking, you're eating processed foods, your cells have become resistant. They're not listening to insulin anymore. And your body becomes really, really, really good at storing fat and then really bad at accessing it. And this is why so many women will say, like, I feel like my body is working against me. I've lived that. I know exactly what that feels like. Now, let's talk about cravings, because this was the biggest light bulb moment for me, okay? Imagine you start your morning with a bagel and coffee. Asiago cheese, please. Your blood sugar is going to shoot all the way up, but your body releases insulin to bring it back down. And sometimes it brings it down so fast that your brain thinks you're running out of fuel. Now, your brain isn't going to be asking for grilled chicken, all right? No, it's going to scream, find sugar, find bread, find chocolate, because it needs dopamine. That's why your cravings feel so powerful. They're not necessarily emotional, they're biochemical. Does this make sense? And this is also something that has completely changed the way that I teach and how to coach women. Men's hormones is a 28-day cycle. A 24. Women's is a 28-day. That means your metabolism changes throughout the month. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that there are times in your cycle when fasting feels amazing. And then there are times when it feels impossible and it actually creates more stress on the body and causes weight gain or burnout. Now, for most women, the first half of the cycle, from the end of your period until ovulation, this is when estrogen is rising and you can tolerate longer fasting windows, lower carbohydrate eating during this phase. This is the time to do it. But after ovulation, progesterone begins to rise. Your body's preparing for pregnancy. But during this phase, you're going to notice you're hungrier, you sleep differently, and you crave carbohydrates because you need glucose to produce progesterone. So eat them, because if you don't, you will have massive mood swings followed by a painful period, and you're going to be exhausted through the whole thing if you just ate the potato. Ladies, instead of fighting our body, what if we started listening to it? Adding healthy carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, squash, berries, or quinoa around that time is actually going to support your body better than trying to force a 20-hour fast. This isn't cheating. It's working with hormones instead of against them. Okay? Now, let's talk about what actually improves insulin resistance. First, eat protein, at least 30 grams in the morning, okay? Do not drink coffee on an empty stomach. It's going to leave you shaky. It's going to make you wired. Add protein. Walk 10 minutes after meals. This is so important and makes such a big difference because it literally pushes glucose into your muscles. Also, lifting weights a few times a week because muscles literally work like a storage tank for your glucose. And you have to prioritize sleep because even one poor night of sleep, did you know, makes you more insulin resistant by I think it's 60%? Yeah, the next day. Oh, and don't ignore your stress because high cortisol and high insulin, they're BFFs and they love to travel together. Now, let's talk about peptides, okay? I want to talk about a few that have me very excited, and I'm going to be very intentional about my words because this is the internet, okay? MOTS-C. MOTS-C is literally one of my favorites because it works at the level of your mitochondria, your body's energy factory, okay? And think of it like helping your cells become more efficient at creating energy. Research suggests it may improve how your body uses glucose and support better metabolic flexibility. Retatrutide. This is probably one of the most exciting metabolic peptides that we've seen in years. Early research suggests it may improve insulin sensitivity, reduce appetite, help regulate blood sugar, and support significant weight loss. And many researchers believe it's exciting because it works through multiple hormone pathways rather than just one, particularly in that it also rebuilds broken down mitochondria, which is the forefront to metabolic dysfunction, aka insulin resistance. Now, visceral belly fat. If this is a concern for you, tesamorelin has been being studied for reducing abdominal fat in certain populations and may improve some markers of metabolic health. Okay? But here's where I need you to hear me, okay? I don't care how incredible a peptide is. If you're sleeping 5 hours a night, you're living on coffee, you're skipping meals, you're eating ultra-processed foods, and you're never moving your body and living in constant survival mode, there is no peptide in this planet that will create and build a healthy foundation for you. They simply can only enhance your progress. They cannot replace it. That's why in my practice, we always start with the basics. Blood sugar, protein, sleep, stress, movement, nutrient deficiencies, gut health, and then we ask what tools could help this woman heal faster. Sometimes that's nutrition. Sometimes it's nervous system work. And sometimes it's peptides. Sometimes it's all of the above because healing isn't about finding one magic answer. It's about creating an environment where your body finally feels safe enough to do what it was designed to do. So if you've been blaming yourself because you can't stop craving sugar or because you've been dieting for years and the scale won't move, I want you to leave with this. You are not lazy. You are not weak. And you are definitely not broken. Your body has been talking to you. It has been screaming to you this whole time. The question is, are you ready to listen and stop fighting it? When is it going to be time? And yes, I know my nails are horrible. I was doing gardening. So, all right. Thank you.